Hi guys, welcome back to yet another episode of Eat Right with Yogesh Dixit. And today we'll take a look at how the carbs are digested into our body. So there are two different types of carbs that we have seen. One is a slow absorbing, the other one is a fast absorbing. So when we consume a slow absorbing carb, because it also has fibers, proteins and fats along with the starch, it takes longer to get digested into our body, against which the fast absorbing carbs, which in majority has the carbohydrates and the starch, and probably very less or no fiber, proteins and fats. That's how it gets digested really very quickly, and hence the slow absorbing carbs, when digested, takes time to basically trigger any blood glucose response, and which is really good because it doesn't elevate our blood glucose levels, against which the fast absorbing carbs gets digested really quickly and does immediately trigger a very high blood glucose response, and which is really not good basically from a metabolic state. So before we move forward to understand what happens when blood glucose rises, it is very important to take a look at the role of pancreas. So pancreas is a gland as well as an organ, and it plays an important role when it comes to two things. One is digestion of food, and the second one is managing blood glucose levels. So the pancreas secrete multiple enzymes and hormones which are very important from digestion standpoint, and one such hormone which is secreted by pancreas is referred as insulin, which plays an immense role when it comes to maintaining the metabolism. So there are four key functions of insulin. One is obviously managing the blood glucose level 24/7. The second one is anabolism. Insulin pushes the proteins and nutrients into muscle cells just to ensure that the muscles growth and repair is happening on a consistent basis. The third one is managing the glycogen stores. All the excess glucose gets stored in the form of glycogen in the liver as well as in the muscles, so that it can be utilized when we are not consuming food at a later time. And the fourth one is basically the formation of fats. So these are like four different functions of insulin, and which plays immense role in the anabolism, catabolism and the overall metabolism. So when we consume carbs, be it slow or fast absorbing, it triggers a glucose response. The blood glucose starts rising and starts floating. So obviously glucose is used as a source of energy. So most of the cells would need to use the glucose molecule, accept it inside the cell, and which can be then essentially be used as a fuel for functioning of the cell. So what happens when a glucose molecule travels all the way to the cell? It just cannot get an entry inside the cell just like that. So the cell door has to be opened, and the only key that is available in the body is nothing but the insulin. So along with the glucose molecule, an insulin molecule also travels to the cell. It acts as the key to open the door of the cell, and then only the glucose molecule gets an entry to the cell, and so as to basically provide a fuel that is very much required for the functioning of that particular cell as such. So when we consume a lot more carbohydrates than what is required or expected, it essentially surges the glucose level, and the glucose in the body is absolutely nowhere to go to, because most of the cells have already utilized the glucose for their functioning. Most of the glucose is already being converted into glycogen stores. So the only place it has to go to is basically to have it get converted into a fat. So again, insulin plays a major role. All the excess glucose which is floating inside the body, because it is really very harmful, the poor insulin, which is also being very very elevated, it starts converting most of these glucose into fat in the form of triglycerides, and essentially it leads to a situation called as insulin resistance, which then leads to multiple metabolic disorders, which is really damaging, which is really harmful. So while we have looked at the process or mechanism of carb digestion, it's worthwhile to take a look at how at what rate these carbs are absorbed, and what is the measure of carbs absorption, because the absorption rate differs based on the underlying structure of the carbs, and which differs significantly when we move from one carb type to another. So what we are going to be covering next is essentially the unit of measures, which is GI, and GL, the glycemic index and glycemic load of carbohydrates.